Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, and all honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Urka Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the hopefully elect out there pushing his word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. It's your brother Kapatazar from the great millstone Chicago branch, coming at you with another quick lesson. And as you can see, the flavor of the week. All right, Alizé or Alizar Bon Lawyer, you know, he wants to go by the. I ain't even gonna give you that title. All right, he's formerly known as the Gorilla Hebrew. I'm not even finna give him the title that he wants, but yeah, he's tripping again. This is something to take note of for those that are new coming in the faith, and as well as those that have been in the faith for a little bit. The most important thing in this walk is faith and meekness. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to get that in the book of Sirach. That's what the Lord loves the most. It's not about how much you know, how many followers you have. It's faith and meekness. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 27. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. How can you be instructed? You would need a teacher. You would need to take heed to someone that is above you. And this is something that this guy, Gorilla Hebrew, this is something that he struggles with. He wants to be the top guy. That's not the spirit to be in. Okay? Continuing on with Sirach 1 and 27. And faith and meekness are his delight. So the Lord delights in faith and he delights in meekness. Meekness is another word for great humility. Okay? Lowliness of mind. Someone that is not puffed up with pride. That is what the Lord loves. The scriptures say the Lord hates pride, arrogancy. Okay? And I believe the evil way. These are the things that the Lord hates. All right? So continuing on, the Gorilla Hebrew, in his pride and in his arrogancy, it causes him to stumble and go off on things. Most recently, he says that Apostle Elder Tahar, whom he learns from, continues to learn from, is too old to do the office of a priest or a Levite. Okay? Which, on one hand, he is technically right, according to the law. But this thing is spiritual. This temple is a spiritual temple. Okay? This tabernacle is that of a spiritual tabernacle. We're not in our holy land. We're not in our homeland doing the things that we were required to do under the Old Testament. Not to say that the law is done away with, but the functions of the priesthood in its traditional manner has been done away with. Yahushai is that high priest. Okay? And through the works and the ministry of Yahushai is where the tabernacle is resting. Okay? But you see, pride and arrogancy tends to cloud judgment. And then you begin to say things you ought not to say. Like what he just recently said. What did he say? Let's see what he said. The book of Hebrews is not the word of the Most High.
No, that's not what it says, 1 but 2. So, Yazar, we just read a prophecy, right, in the book of, what book was that? Jeremiah? Ezekiel, right? That's the word of Yahweh, right or wrong? The prophecy of Ezekiel that you just said you couldn't argue with, is that the word of Yahweh?
Hold on, I gotta respond to the comment. Ellen Collins, I'm not really establishing I'm establishing grades right now.
No,
okay?
That I would disagree with that wholeheartedly. But again, Ezekiel, is that the word of Yahweh that we read in Ezekiel?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great. Is what you're reading in Hebrews the word of Yahweh?
Absolutely.
How is it? Does it say thus saith the Lord after that?
This is, well, you haven't answered the question about who wrote Hebrews.
I'm not saying that I know who wrote Hebrews. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is Hebrews is not the word of Yahweh. Though.
Okay. Ezekiel, yes.
So we know Ezekiel is. So if there's now again, we gave an explanation as to what Hebrews was talking about. But if there's any confusion, what are we going to side with? The word of Yahweh, or a book that we're not even sure who the exact author of it is?
You're going to side with Yahweh.
What I'm saying is Hebrews is not the word of Yahweh though.
You see, pride. So now, pride, it causes you to say things like the book of Hebrews is not the word of the Most High. You see that? So then is Paul not a man of the Lord? Did not Yahweh Shai labor and teach Paul personally for 3 years? You see? So now the book of Hebrews that is written to the Hebrews, which he himself calls himself the guerrilla Hebrew. Now all of a sudden, that's not the word of the Most High. You see? It's a very slippery slope. Pride is. Because it is, as it is written, it is better to slip upon a pavement than to slip with the tongue. But let's get the book of Hebrews. So if Hebrews ain't the word of the Most High, well, this is what he's failing to understand. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. So for you to be the guerrilla Hebrew, well, somebody got to teach you the book of Hebrews again. Somebody got to teach you the scriptures again. You see? For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And this young man, in his pride, his discernment is failing him. You see? As it is written in the Sirach, the 3rd chapter, verse 24, many are deceived by their own vain opinion. That's his opinion that Hebrews is not the word of the Most High. So now he's beginning to unravel. So now you can't teach any, you can't bring out no precepts from the book of Hebrews now. Well, then now real soon you're going to have to throw away the scriptures, period. He's through. But circling back to his point that he made recently, he said Apostle Tahar, the elder Apostle Tahar, is too old to carry out priestly duties. So on one hand, he's correct. Let's get that. Numbers, the 8th chapter, the last 2 verses. Let's dig into that. This is Numbers chapter 8, verse 23. And Yahweh spake to Moses, saying, this is that belongeth unto the Levites, the priests, right? From 25 years old and upward they shall go in to wait upon the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And from the age of 50 years they shall cease waiting upon the service thereof, and shall serve no more. So you're right. Apostle Tahar, back in the ancient world, he would have been too old to do the daily services of the tabernacle, right? Verse 26, though, but shall minister with their brethren in the tabernacle of the congregation to keep the charge, and shall do no service. Thus shall ye do unto the Levites touching their charge. So they're still supposed to minister with those that are in the tabernacle, meaning they would be there to instruct and guide the younger man on what to do. It's like you have a master or a journeyman and you have the apprentices. The apprentice learns from those that are skilled, those that are seasoned in this trade. It's no different. So the younger Levites will learn from the older Levites on how to carry about the service of the tabernacle. Okay? But why did the Most High give that age limit in the first place? Because when you're doing the service of a Levite, that is a very taxing job. It can be very physically strenuous. So it would make sense that a man upwards of 50 and older wouldn't take on the more physically demanding work, but he would rather delegate that to those that are under him learning and are of age to do these things, all right? The strength belongs to the youth, okay? And what? Those that are men of the hoary heads, those that are the older men, they are to guide and to educate, okay? It's simple. So I went ahead and looked up, I Googled why it would make sense that the Lord would put this age restricting. So this is gotquestions.org, right? And it says it's going into the verses we just read, the Numbers, the 8th chapter. It's giving a little bit of an explanation, right? It says, at the other end of the spectrum, ending service at 50 years. Matter of fact, I'll get the title just so y'all. It says, why did God restrict the age that a priest could serve? Pursuing back to the book of Numbers, the 8th chapter, 24 to 26, right? Okay. It says, at the other end of the spectrum, ending service at 50 years was probably intended to limit priestly service to those with the physical strength to serve, in addition to needing stamina for an all-day job. This was an all-day job. All right. You are on your feet. Okay. You're doing the service of the Most High for all 12 tribes. Jacob is as the sands of the sea and the stars of the sky. That's a lot of Israelites. Okay. So yes, this is a very physically demanding thing. They're not just in the temple, with nice garments on singing. No, that's not what they did. All right. It says Jewish priests would often need the strength to help move large livestock, sheep, goats, and cattle as part of their involvement in the tabernacle. So, and that's just one aspect of it. But when you got millions upon millions of Israelites bringing in their offerings, bringing in all these sheep, goats, and cattle, bruh, that's a strenuous thing, man. You got to cook it. You got to prep it. Y'all already know. All right. Hey, man, Gordon Ramsay could never. All right. You see him in that show Hell's Kitchen. You see how them chefs, they be running around, doing all this, that, and the third. You have to multiply that times 1,000. Okay. And that would be the priestly duties. You see, on top of the keeping things clean, it's a whole lot that the priests had to do. So of course, they would have an age restriction. That would make the most sense why the Most High would do that. Why he said this is what needs to be done. Okay. But again, it's pride, man. Pride is the beginning of destruction. Pride is when one departs from his maker. Pride is when you begin to slip with the tongue and say things you ought not to say. So yes, on one scale, yeah, you're right, but you're double wrong, because through Yahweh Shai, we no longer need to take on those duties of the priesthood. Our duties now are to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the priesthood got opened up to all 12 tribes. Our duties are to make these epistles and go out week in and week out and prophesy the downfall of Esau Edom, to prophesy against Mount Seir. That's now the duties of the priest now, man. That's now the office of the tabernacle. Take care of the ministry and do the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in feeding his lambs through the internet. Okay? And there is no age restriction on that. Apostle Tahar made the video. Hey, there is no retiring in this thing, man. Okay? And the apostles, they going full steam ahead. So again, what the hell are you talking about? You're just prideful. All right, I'm going to get this last scripture and I'm done. Damn. I believe it's Proverbs 18. No, okay, I passed it. There it is. This is the book of Proverbs 18 and 12. And it reads, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. Okay? So we have to be humble before we can get that honor. And at the end of the day, titles really don't matter much. Titles are there for order's sake. Okay? But at the end of the day, we all want to hear, all we want to hear is this. All right? At the end of the day, we don't want titles. This is what we want. All right. This is Matthew 25 and 21. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter you into the joy of thy Lord, man. So that's what we want to hear. All right. We want to be called a good and faithful servant. All right. So if we can be faithful over the spiritual tabernacle, okay, we will be faithful in the physical tabernacle when it is rebuilt. All right. In its glory. So don't be like this guy. You're not that guy. All right. Let me see if I find that, man. All right. You're not that guy.
How's that? How's that? How's that?
That sounds good to me.
So then leave.
I'm checking out, sir.
Yeah,
Check
go
out.
ahead, ring out if you.
Fuck you where you bleed, pal. Right where you. Just like a pimple on the left. So that guy.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you?
Absolutely.
Sir.
Yeah,
Check
go
out.
ahead, ring out.
If you know how.
Good.
Okay, you little pimply little shit.
Hey guys, if you guys could not do this in the store.
That sounds good to me.
So then leave.
I'm checking out, sir.
Yeah,
Check
go
out.
ahead, ring out if you could take
Okay?
6
You're not
feet.
that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Are
Okay?
you?
Absolutely.
You're gonna get arrested for this?
Arrested for doing what?
All right. You're not that guy, Alizé. Shalom.